Hey folks, welcome back to another Q&A session. Today's first question comes from Ben Gayton, who sent in by email, who says, would you class those who are only a few months into their steroid withdrawal as being immune suppressed? If so, this may have implications during the current virus outbreak. So firstly, I just want to say I'm not an expert at all in viruses, coronaviruses of any kind. However, I've seen and coached a lot of people who are going through immune suppression, and it is reasonable to expect that if you've got any sort of immune suppressants going on, then you'll be more susceptible to viruses, infections of all kinds. So in that sort of state, if you're taking steroids that are suppressing your immune system, then you want to stay as clean and as safe as possible and take all the advice that all the health authorities are giving us with the virus outbreak. When you are withdrawing from steroids, you are heading in the right direction and your body is strengthening again, your immune system is getting strong again, and so you're on the right path. It's when you're taking steroids in the moment and in a regular, frequent way that your immune system is the most suppressed. And if you're taking other immune suppressants as well, like cyclosporine and all that sort of stuff, then the same applies. So be careful. Don't worry too much about it though, because there's so much we don't know about this. So my opinion is there's no point worrying about something we don't really know too much about. The next question comes from AK192410, who says, I'm a 16-year-old with mild eczema on my face. In the past few years, I feel that I've become stuck using moisturizer. Without it, my face becomes very dry and peels. These are regular moisturizers, not steroid eczema ones. Would you recommend quitting using these cold turkey? The cold turkey question: should you come off completely straight away overnight, or should you cycle your way off gradually? In my opinion, it is personal preference. It's entirely up to you. The withdrawal symptoms, any fallout you have from using anything of any sort of strength, even if it's just a moisturizer and not a steroid, the symptoms are likely to be worse. And so if you want to go down the route of getting it all done quickly, rip the band-aid off as it were, then go that route. That's what I did. I wanted to move along as quickly as possible. I wanted to feel like I was making progress. I almost wanted to see and experience and feel the detoxification symptoms. And if you're wired up that way, then do that. If you're a bit scared of that, and if you've got to face people, if you've got to be facing clients or seeing your friends or your girlfriends or something, then maybe you want to take things a bit more slowly, set yourself up a plan to cycle off gradually and move towards a no moisturizer protocol. Next question comes from Asperiox Natis, who posted under last week's Q&A where I answered the question, how long does it take to heal eczema? What about TSW? So how long is TSW? This is a very similar answer really to how long it takes to heal eczema. It kind of depends on a lot. Depends on how strong you are. It depends on how many steroids you've used in the past. It really is how long is a piece of string. But most people don't experience TSW for more than a couple of years. And a lot of people, most people I would say, experience for way less than that, a few months at the most. So send me some details about your particular case, if you like, how many steroids you've used in the past, what strength, how long you use them for, where you are now, what you're doing, how detoxifying you are, your age, any other health related stuff. Send me anything you want and I will try and give you an educated opinion on how long your TSW is likely to be. But just know that if you're going through TSW, it is a positive journey. You're going to somewhere good, even though it might be horrible in the moment. You're always going through a tunnel where there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Next question from Grass Green. What are your thoughts on colloidal silver? How does one know they have a staph infection? So there's two questions there. First one on colloidal silver. I don't really recommend the use of it, and I haven't used it myself, and it's sort of kind of scares me a little bit. I think it's putting something into the body that is, yes, it is naturally antibacterial, and you know back in the day you used to throw silver coins into fountains to clean them of bacteria and stop them growing algae and that sort of thing. But to use that on the body or in the body, it just doesn't quite sit right with me, and so I wouldn't use it myself, and I wouldn't recommend others to, but by all means you're free to do whatever you choose to do. As far as the other part of your question about staph, if you want a professional opinion, then go get yourself checked out at a doctor, but usually it looks like any sort of other skin infection, like a pimple or a boil, or sometimes it can be a crusty thing. Sometimes you get it around your eyes, or you can even get staph infection in your bones. But really, if you do suspect you've got it, go and get yourself checked out, get a professional opinion, somebody to actually look at you, and they will be able to tell you what you've got. And the last question from Southpaw7, what's your thoughts on Rob Stewart's new carnivore diet? Well, I've answered this in the past, and I wouldn't even refer to it as a new diet on Rob's part anymore, because he's been doing this for quite some time. Just have a watch of the videos I made specifically about Rob switching up his diet. I think that Rob is, even though he's putting out a lot of kind of anti-vegan content at the moment, I think he still would have to acknowledge that there is some credence to the detoxification process he went through at the start of his own journey. When you look at anybody, look at what they actually did to get to where they are, rather than what they're saying. I think what they actually did is much more important. And if you can possibly find that about anybody you're interested in, then that's going to be a lot more valuable information than what they're choosing to say in the moment. For example, right now, I can get away with eating foods that I definitely couldn't get away with when I was suffering really badly with my skin in the way that a lot of you guys are out there. And so it's probably not good for you to look at how I'm eating now and copy that. It would be better for you to look at the Eczema Healing Program detoxification modules so that you can follow that stuff, because it's going to be more pertinent to where you are now. My thoughts on any sort of carnivore diet: I don't like it. I don't think it makes any sort of sense for human beings to be eating that way. I think firstly we need fibre in our diets, and there's a whole load of other things I could get into. But yeah, go and watch those other videos I made about it, and hopefully that answers your question. That's it for today's Q&A session. You are free to go. Post your comments and questions in the comments box down below, and I'll answer your questions next time.